Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about sentence pattern 11 to 15. If in the previous meetings we focused on sentence patterns 6 to 10, which mean they deal with the use of transitive verbs with direct objects. Today we will focus on the use of transitive verbs with indirect objects. What does it mean by indirect object? Indirect object is the recipient of the action conducted by the subject with the transitive verb. Okay, let's check the patterns. We will start from VP11. The formula is subject plus VT plus noun or pronoun plus that clause. So here, the noun or pronoun is becoming the indirect object. For example, he warned us that the roads were icy. He is the subject, warned is the VT, us here is the pronoun functioning as IO, and that the roads were icy is the that clause. I convinced him that I was innocent. I is the subject, convinced is the VT, him is the pronoun, and that clause is that I was innocent. Next, the workers told their employers that they wanted more money. The workers is the subject, told is the VT, their employers is the noun, and that they wanted more money is that clause. Next one, we have VP12A. The formula is subject plus VT plus noun or pronoun as IO and plus noun or pronoun phrase as DO. Here, the characteristics of the object or the IO is the animate object. What does it mean by animate object? Animate objects is something which is alive, something which is living, or we can say that the object here, the IO here is human. For example, my father, her, him, the man, for example. So you cannot use the object like the table, the car, the computer, and so on and so forth. The verb is also used in VP13A with the preposition to. Okay, the examples: have they paid you the money? They is the subject, have paid is the VT. You here is the pronoun functioning as the IO, and then the money is the noun phrase functioning as the O. Next, he handed her the letter. He is the subject, handed is the VT, her here is the pronoun functioning as IO, and the letter is the noun phrase functioning as DO. He made me a good offer. He is the subject, made is the VT, me is the pronoun functioning as IO, a good offer is a noun phrase functioning as DO. If you see these three examples, you can see it here that the IO always precedes the DO, or the IO come before the DOs. But this form can be converted to VP13A, where the DO comes before the IO plus preposition to. For example, he told us the news. This is VP12A. We have us as the IO coming before the DO, the news. If you change it into VP13A, it will be he told the news to everybody in the village. So the news as DO comes before to everybody in the village or IO with the preposition to, and they have the same meaning. Next one, we have VP12B. The formula is subject plus VT plus noun or pronoun IO plus noun or pronoun phrase DO. It's actually similar to the previous one. And IO commonly precedes the DO. So what makes it different then? Okay, the point is in VP12B, it is equivalent with VP13B with the preposition for. Okay, for example, I have found us a new flat. I is the subject, have found is the VT, as here is the pronoun as IO, and a new flat is a noun phrase functioning as DO. She cooked her husband a delicious meal. She here is the subject, cooked is the VT, and then her husband here is a noun phrase functioning as IO, and a delicious meal here is the noun phrase functioning as DO. Last one, she made herself a new dress. She is the subject, made is the VT, herself here is a reflexive pronoun functioning as the IO, and a new dress is a noun phrase functioning as DO. Okay. This form or this pattern can be converted to VP13B with the preposition for, but you need to change the position between IO and DO. If in VP12B, the IO comes before DO, when you change to VP13B, the DO must come first, followed by preposition for and then the IO. For example, I have found us a new flat. Okay, this is VP12B, and the conversion to VP13B is I have found a new flat for us. I hope it's clear. Next, VP12C. The formula is subject plus VT plus noun or pronoun plus noun or pronoun phrase. So here the indirect object is inanimate. It differs this pattern with the two previous patterns. Yeah. So here the indirect object is inanimate, meaning that it's where is that? It's not about the living thing like human, but it's about what is that? The things that is inanimate. For example, like the book, the table, the car, the door, and so on and so forth. For example, he struck the door a heavy blow. He is the subject. Struck is the VD. The door here is the indirect object, which is inanimate, yeah, because it's not someone, yeah, or human. And then a heavy blow here is the noun phrase functioning as the DO. Next, I must give the room a good airing. I here is the subject, must give is the VD. The room here is the inanimate object as the IO, and a good airing here is the noun phrase as the DO. Next, we have VP13A. The formula is subject plus VT plus noun or pronoun as direct object plus 2 plus noun or pronoun as phrase. And okay, next one is VP13A. The formula is subject plus VT plus noun or pronoun as DO plus preposition to plus noun or pronoun phrase. This pattern is convertible to VP12A, like what I said before. For example, she read the letter to all her friends. She here is the subject, read is the VT, the letter is DO. To all her friends here is to is the preposition, and all her friends is a noun phrase. And then she sold her old car to one of his friends. She is the subject, sold is the VT. Her old car here is the DO in the form of a noun phrase. And then to one of his friends, to is the preposition, one of his friends is the noun phrase too. Next, he won't lend money to anyone. He is the subject, one lend here is the VD, and money here is the DO in the form of a noun, and to is the preposition, and one is the pronoun. Okay, so like what I said before, it is convertible to VP12A. So you can say, for example, the first example, you can change it into she read all her friends the letter. So you just need to change the position between DO and IO. The verbs used in VP13A are like allow, award, bring, cause, deal, and so on and so forth. Next, we have VP13B. The formula is subject, VT, noun or pronoun SDO, and preposition for and noun or pronoun phrase. The verb is convertible to VP12B. So actually what differentiates between this pattern and the previous pattern is just the preposition. In VP13A, you use the preposition to. In VP13B, you use the preposition for. For example, I have bought some chocolate for you. I is the subject, have bought is the VT, some chocolate here is DO, and we use preposition for followed by a pronoun you. She has made coffee for all of us. She is the subject, has made here is the VD, and then coffee is the noun functioning as DO, for is the preposition, and all of us is the noun phrase functioning as the IO. The third one, she made a new party dress for her younger daughter. She is the subject, made here is the VD, a new party dress is a noun phrase functioning as DO, and preposition for followed that. After that, we have noun phrase functioning as the IO, her younger daughter. Again, this is convertible to VP12B, so we can say, for example, the first sentence can be, I have bought you some chocolate. Okay, I hope that's clear. So the verbs used in VP13b are like boil, bring, buy, call, and so on and so forth. Next, VP14. In VP14, we have subject plus VD plus noun or pronoun plus DO plus preposition plus noun or pronoun phrase. So in the previous patterns in 13, yeah, VP13, we have also preposition. But what what differentiate the preposition with this pattern is that the preposition used in VP14 is not only for and to. It can be any preposition, but they are invariable preposition. What does it mean? The prepositions are usually the fixed phrases with the verb, or the preposition used here are the preposition that are commonly used with certain verbs. Okay, for example, we congratulated him on his success. We use the preposition on here because the verb is congratulate, and the verb congratulate is usually used with the preposition on. The second one, they accused him of stealing the jewels. We use the preposition of here because the verb accused is generally used with the preposition of. Okay, it has also two other sub-patterns like subject plus VT plus preposition plus noun or pronoun phrase plus noun or pronoun SDO. For example, he spends on books much more than he spends on clothes. Okay, here the subject is he and then the verb is spends, followed by the preposition on. Why? Because the verb spend is usually used with preposition on, plus nouns, books, right? Next, subject plus VT plus introductory it, we have it here, plus preposition plus noun or pronoun phrase, plus to infinitive phrase, plus that clause. It's quite long, yeah, but let's see the example. I must leave it to your own judgment to decide whether you should offer your resignation. Okay. The subject is I, the verb or VT here is must leave, and then we have introductory it, must leave it, okay, and then it is explained with another phrase. We have preposition to. Why we use to here? Because the verb is leave, yeah, leave to, okay, to, and then we have the noun phrase your own judgment plus to infinitive to decide plus that clause whether you should offer your resignation. Okay. Next one, we have VP15A. The formula is subject plus VT plus noun or pronoun SDO plus adverb phrase. For example, please put the milk in the refrigerator. Put here is the verb. The milk here is the DO, and in the refrigerator is the adverb of place. They kept the child indoors. They is the subject. Kept is the VD, the child is the DO, and indoors is the adverb of place again. The last one, the detective followed the suspected man for 2 hours. The detective is the subject, followed is the VT, the suspected man is the DO, and for 2 hours here is the adverb of time. So as you can see it here, the adverb in this pattern plays an important role. Why? Because, for example, please put the milk. It's unclear. When you use put, it can't be like that. You need to show the position or the place where you put it. So please put the milk in the refrigerator. It's like that. Next one, VP15B. The formula is subject plus VT plus noun or pronoun as direct object plus adverb particle. What does it mean by adverb particle? Here is like it's parts of adverb, but it's in the form of preposition like on, of, something like that. For example, put your shoes on. Put here is the VT, your shoes is the DO, and then on here is the adverb particle. Okay. Take your coat off. Take is the VT, your coat is the DO, and off here is the adverb particle. The second sub-pattern is actually another form or other forms of the previous pattern. You just change the position of DO and the adverb. If previously you have the do first before the adverb particle, in this sub-pattern, the second one, you put the adverb particles before the dos. For example, put on your shoes. Put is the VD, and then on is the adverb particle, and then your shoes is the do. The third one, when the do is long, adverb particle also usually precedes the do. For example, why don't you put on those green shoes you bought a week ago? So after the VT put, you have the adverb particle on before the do, those green shoes you bought a week ago, when the do is long. Alright everyone, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening to my explanation. I hope it's clear. If you have any question, do not hesitate to give any comment here, or we can discuss it later on in our class discussion. Alright, I think that's all for today. I hope the material will be useful. See you everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.